how to be more efficient at design. That is a loaded question, especially for print on demand, but I'm going to go over some common mistakes that people make when it comes to print on demand and designing in general. And this is going to be great for whether or not you're selling on Etsy or Amazon, or maybe you have your own Shopify, or maybe you're selling on Redbubble, or maybe you're selling digital products. This process still works for that. So let's go over the mistakes and let's go over some efficiency tips to help you go farther faster. Welcome to another Coffee with Kittl. This is just going to be you and me today. I've got some efficiency tips for design, specifically for print on demand. This is going to be a great one to listen to, whether you're on a run or working out, or maybe to have on in the background while you're working. All right, so there are three common mistakes that I think people make when it comes to trying to design efficiently so that they can upload something on their Etsy or their Shopify. And I think it's that people are trying to research, design, and upload all at the same time, all on the same day. So I fall into this trap often as well. You know, I'll be out somewhere, I'll have an idea for a shirt or something, and I'll say, that's really cool, people will want that. I'll design it in Kittl, I'll export it, I'll upload it, I'll send it over to Etsy, I'll go over to Etsy, I'll tweak the description, the title, all this stuff. And then I'll be like, oh, I need to go back, I need to make mock-ups, because then I'm trying to do all of the things at one time. And so you're totally free to do that. There's nothing wrong with that. And it can be, it can be productive to do this if you're trying to hop on a trend or a style that's kind of just come in really hot and you're trying to get in on it. That's totally something that you can do. But if we're talking about design efficiency and efficiency tips, then this method doesn't really work with an overall workflow with how to basically design more, design faster, and list more things. So the second mistake is trying to design without any context or any research. And I know we all have great ideas on what would sell. I bet this would be super funny, people will want to buy this. But often that's just us talking to ourselves about what we would like or what we would think looks good or funny out and about. We haven't really done any market research to know if there's any demand there, if there's anything in that niche, or it could be something on the complete opposite of what we thought would be funny or would sell well. So keep that in mind before you start opening up the artboard to start designing something. And the third common mistake is trying to design with no references. So just straight up out of nothing. And this is the classic blank canvas nightmare that we've all experienced, where we open a new project and we have this idea, but we just cannot make it happen, right? You're just experimenting with random illustrations, endlessly scrolling through fonts to try to find one that works, and it's not getting there. And this is fine if you want to play around and figure out what looks good to you and things like that. But if we're trying to go from A to B, right, this design on this product to make this sell, to make money, then designing out of nothing is sometimes not the best route to go. And of course, I'm not suggesting that you need to copy or steal anyone else's work. Please do not do that. That is not the purpose of designing with a reference. And of course, we have tons of amazing templates in Kittl for you to use and get started with and edit and kind of make your own. So those are the three common mistakes, right? So one is trying to research, design, and upload all in one day. Another one is trying to just design without doing any background work to know if it'll work. And then the third one is then trying to design something without having looked at something that already looks good. So basically having a reference. So let's move into some practical steps for how you can take those mistakes, flip them around, and be more efficient. And I gave an overview of this method back in my quitting POD video. Basically, if you're about to quit POD, watch this. Definitely go watch that video. I'll link it up here for you. And that's where I go over some of the top reasons that I believe someone would want to quit print on demand, and we tackle them one by one. Maybe you're not making sales. Maybe your shop got taken down, which would be, awful. We've all, some of us have been there, and we understand. So go check that out if you're having some concerns. Some of the best advice that we've received is to break down your whole design journey into days or sections. If you're going to try to do everything in one day, you can, but just think about these three overall sections. So Day 1 or section 1 is research day. That's searching stores, that's searching Google, that's searching, Etsy, that's searching whatever to see if there is interest in your niche. Day 2 or section 2 is the actual design day, the design time. So you're taking your knowledge from day 1, everything that you've collected, and you get to work designing everything you need for the listings of the products you're going to post. Day 3, section 3 is all of your back end work, your listing day. So day 1 or section 1, research. Day 2, section 2, design. Day 3, section 3 is listing or uploading day, right? Now, again, think back. The common mistake is trying to do section 1, 2, 3 all in this one condensed timeline and thinking you're going to do it in 30 minutes. And you're free to do that. But if we're talking about efficiency, which is the title of this video, then breaking these sections down is the best way to do it. And I have steps within each section, and I'm going to do my best to keep this as clean as possible. I have 3 steps for each section. So I have 3 steps underneath research, 3 practical steps underneath design, and 3 steps underneath listing or uploading, okay? And again, this is going to look a little bit different if you're just using something like Redbubble or Society6, where there's no extracurricular work to do, like there's no mock-ups or anything, so just keep that in mind. So what does research look like? So section 1, so we're in the first arc or the first section of this. Step 1, underneath research, is you're going to decide on your target audience and your target niche if you don't already have one. If you already have one, great, because this makes the research effort that much faster because you kind of already know what it is you're trying to target. Maybe it's something in the self-care genre, maybe it's something in like sports, maybe it's something in animals, and then you sub-niche that down to like a specific animal, or maybe it's insects, or maybe it's plants. And so you already kind of have a good idea and you already have a good start. But if you don't, your best option is to go straight to that Google search bar, straight to the Amazon bar, straight to the Etsy bar, and don't even think about designing until you have a proven idea of what you think is going to sell, okay? And a lot of our collaborators have excellent information, great tips on how to do this. Ryan Hogue, Hannah Ebling, Heather Johnson. I'll link all of their channels down below. And you can also peruse a lot of our Coffee with Kittl episodes, which are going to give you great tips on print on demand, especially for finding your niche. Just remember that there's no point in trying to design something if you don't know who's going to buy it, right? If you have no idea of who would do this thing, then why would you go in and start trying to design something? So you need to make sure you have a clear path to success. Now, step 2, underneath research, remember we're still underneath research. Step 2 is to find some competition and take notes, okay? So whether you're selling on Etsy or Amazon, Etsy might be the biggest example of this, is going to research, typing in the keywords that you're trying to sell for, finding competition, finding other shops that are doing really well, and you're going to be taking notes, writing down everything you think they are doing well, which is going to be key for what you're going to do later in another step. So what do their photos look like? What do their titles and products look like? What do they sound like when you say them? What are the descriptions in these products? Like, what are the different sections of the descriptions that they're using? Can you take some of those and use as your own kind of template and then tweak it to be your own? What are the tags that shop are using to make this listing show up when you type it in? You're also going to be taking, screenshots of what some of the different products look like, so that can influence maybe what your product photos look like. You'll probably notice that they sell a variety of products, but when you click through to the shop, they all kind of have this cohesive look and vibe. And so that's what you're going to also want to go for when you are creating and curating your own feed. This is a major factor for shoppers too, because if they liked one thing and they click through to the shop and they see something in a similar style, a similar vibe, then they are more likely to purchase more or purchase again. So step 3, the last step underneath research, is for you to take these notes and map out. So create your own map of what you want to design for. So you've done the research to find the niche topic, the thing that you are going to design for. Step 2, you've done extra research into people that are already selling or doing what you're doing well. So we've found the topic. We found people utilizing, doing this topic. 3, we're taking all of those notes and we are going to create our own map, our own roadmap for what it is that we need to design for. So by this point, you already have the audience in your mind. You've done an audit. With this knowledge, the outline is the kinds of designs you're going to make and the products you're going to put it on. So if it's mental health, and in the mental health it's a quote, then you have the quote idea, or maybe you used our AI quote generator to help you generate a quote. I'll link that down for you all to try out. And so you know what the quote is, and you know that you want to put the quote on a shirt, a journal, and a sticker. So those are the 3 products with the design that you are going to make. And I advise you to get as detailed with this map, with this roadmap or list as possible, so that it saves you a lot of time later and you don't forget something. So for example, the shirt design will be the fullest, the biggest design. The journal most likely will look the same, perhaps with a different solid color. But then with the sticker, the sticker probably won't utilize the entirety of the shirt design because it won't be that big. So maybe you take some elements away and you just leave the quote. The sticker is just the quote without some of the extra elements or some of the effects, so that it works well as a cohesive sticker. Well, in that list, that roadmap, you have an asterisk or something next to the sticker because there's a little bit of editing that has to be done, as well as all of your sizing for all these things. So that's why the list, the map, the outline of your products is so helpful, so that like, okay, I've done this, check this off. Oh, okay, I need to change this one a little bit. Okay, check this off. Now, what would also be super helpful is if you are just writing the dimensions or the sizes next to those things, and that saves you even more time to then even double your time efficiency. We already have a lot of POD presets in Kittl, so you can slide over to the POD presets tab and you can see Printify, Amazon, whatever. You can get them there, or you can just create your own in Kittl, and then you can just duplicate, and this is my shirt size listing, this is my sticker size listing, whatever it is that the print-on-demand suppliers need. Okay, so that was our research section. So now we're going to transition into the fun part, which is the design. So we've gone through the research section. We did our 3 steps there. Now we're in our design portion, our design section, or day, if you will, which I highly recommend. You have a day for research, a day for design, a day for listening. So step 1 is to collect the references. And I mentioned this as a big mistake back at the beginning, where people will try to design out of nothing, and you've seen the type of design that you want to make, and you're trying to make that happen. You're trying to make the idea come out of your head, and you just don't know because you don't have anything to go off of, right? So this is really why we made Kittl, to help you, because we have so many templates for you to start for print on demand. And in your collection phase, you can use Kittl to just bookmark these templates or designs. You can access them later, and you could even start and maybe copy and paste from all of those. But you can also use tools like Pinterest, which are super helpful. You can type in the same keywords that you're trying to rank for in something like Etsy or Amazon. You can use those same keywords for the product in Pinterest and see what kind of designs come up, and then you can start pinning them to a board so that you can easily access it later for reference when you're designing your own merch. So that's step 1, is our collection of references phase, and then the step 2 is obviously to get to work. Okay, so we've done enough of the back end work, we've done enough of the brain power. Now it's time to actually dive into Kittl, open up a new project, or start with a template and start getting to work. Now you've collected all of these references, so you know what you're going to utilize. Maybe you're getting influenced on fonts for one, maybe colors for another, maybe it's illustration style or something for another, and you need to be thinking about things like the color of the text versus the graphic versus what the background will be, which is most likely the shirt or the product color. Now, in this design step, you obviously need to look at the roadmap that you wrote down in the research section and make sure you have all of the sizes ready to go so that you can easily adapt your design to those. And this is what's going to help you speed your process up so fast. You can also start to figure out and think about how you might utilize a design a different way. So for example, if you have one template, we use our mental health example, and we have the shirt, the journal, and the sticker. Well, what if we just change the text just a little bit in that original design we made, and we maybe change the colors around a little bit, Okay, well now we have 6, right? Because we've done an adjacent quote or an adjacent inspirational piece or something, and now instead of 3, we have 6 listings, but it's the same template. So you need to start thinking about how you can kind of like think smarter, about what it is you're doing, not necessarily trying to create more things, but just utilizing what you already have that somebody else like in a different color or a different quote or something like that. And in this design phase, don't forget to think about what your design is going to look like on a light versus dark background. So you need to ask if that design is going to work universally, or do you now need to have a light and a dark version, which would then be 12 instead of 6, because you're going to have one that works on light t-shirts and, light versions of the sticker, and then one that will work with dark shirts and dark versions of the stickers. I generally like to have 2 listings for the design. One is light shirts and one is dark. So the light might be white, gray, yellow, light blue or something, and the dark is like black, navy, maroon, forest green, right? So then I have 2 different designs because I know that one probably won't work universally across all of them. Okay, and so the last step underneath design is the presentation and organization step. We've collected our references, we've designed the designs, the graphics, and now we need to work on the presentation and the organization of those designs. So once you've completed them, obviously you'll need to export them, make sure that they're organized in a folder so that you can easily access them when it's time to upload them to Printful or Printify or Redbubble or whatever it is. And if you are in fact selling on Etsy or Shopify or Amazon Seller Central, then you need to think about creating mock-ups for your presentation. What do these designs look like on a shirt or a tote bag or whatever it is you're selling? And by the way, you can use Kittl to do that. You can use the mock-up generator to easily take your design and see what it looks like on a shirt or a tote bag. You also need to be thinking about like whether or not you need to have a sizing chart, whether or not you need to have like a very big visual returns policy as a slide in your presentation. So you're doing all of these things in the creative design day so that it saves you time when you're about to list all of these things. Now, if you're using a marketplace like Redbubble or Society6, you don't need mockups because you're kind of confined just to the pictures that they provide, but you still need to think about your titles and descriptions for the platform so that the products are served up to someone that's looking for them. All right, so we've gone through the research section or the research day. We've gone through the design section or the design day. Now it's time for the third section, which is uploading and listing. So step 1 is obviously to upload your products. If it's Etsy integrated with something like Printful or Printify, then be prepared because this process can be pretty tedious, unless you are using a third-party management tool, which Travis talked about in our interview in Coffee with Kittl. It's going to take time to duplicate and push to the platform. You need to do that for each product. And if you had already taken some notes back in the research section about what your titles and descriptions might look like, this process will be a lot faster for you because you can just have your notes and you can easily just copy paste, and then you'll be ready to publish them. But before we get to the publishing section, we need to figure out the best and fastest way to upload our designs. Now, what I like specifically about Printful, and I'm fairly certain you can do this in Printify as well, is that I can upload my designs just as templates. So I can make them a template in Printful or Printify, and then I can go and I can duplicate that template, edit it, delete and upload my new design, but all of my preset stuff is still there. So the sizes that I wanted to sell it in, the colors that I want to offer it in, right? The sizing in the bounding box or whatever, I've just duplicated the template, uploaded the light or the dark version, or maybe it's the same shirt just with a different design. I've just duplicated it 9 times. And then what I've done is I can just select those and I can publish them to my store, whether it be Shopify or Etsy. Now again, marketplaces like Redbubble, you don't need to do that because you're just uploading the design one time and then it's just uploaded to all of the products. You can go and adjust them easily and then select publish. Okay, so that was step 1, which was uploading, getting everything uploaded. All the designs that you crafted in the second section we're now uploading to our fulfillment center to then be pushed. So the next step then is to draft and optimize. So when you're using Printful or Printify or Gelato or whatever else you want, you should have the ability to publish them to your store as a draft. And this is super important because while you can edit things like titles and descriptions and tags and stuff in Printify and Printful, the strength is actually in the back end of your platform, whether it's Amazon Seller Central or Etsy. So the real strength is all of the filled forms that are back there. So what you want to do is publish them. Remember, we've already uploaded all of our designs as pretty much as templates, so we can just select and hit publish to store. We're going to publish them as a draft, so not visible. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go into the back end and we are going to delete our stock photos from Printful and Printify, and we're going to upload our nice mockups that have already been organized in a folder. Remember, back from design day or design section, we're going to upload our nice photos. We're going to make sure our description is good, our title is filled out, all of our tags are filled out, all of the secondary information like shirt type, shirt length, colors, all of that stuff. We're going to make sure all of that is filled out. Of course, don't forget to figure out your pricing structure as well. For descriptions and tags and things like that, I personally like to have some stock ones built out. So I have one for basically this type of shirt that I like to sell. I have one stock description for stickers. I have one stock description for tote bags, and they include different things like, sizing guides, washing instructions, like, what the cotton is that's used. And then at the top, I always leave just like, I just leave a word that says description, which tells me I need to go in there and I need to craft a custom paragraph for that specific product. And that way, all of my products don't look like it's the same copied description and it's kind of like stock heavy. So that way I always have the first thing custom or different. So that way it's again more SEO, more keywords for you to put into your description to serve it to the person looking for it. All right, so the third step then. So we've made it all the way from research, design, now we're listing, and now we're in the third step underneath listing is to select all of your products and set them live. You are done. This is the last thing you need to do. You have already optimized. You've already uploaded. So you're just selecting them all and hitting publish, or one by one if you want, whatever you're doing. And now, instead of falling into the mistake of designing one shirt quick, uploading it, sending it over to Etsy, optimizing it, hitting publish, and then realizing you have to do all of that again, now you've done 12 or 15 or 20 all at one time, as opposed to the one that it took you 30 minutes to figure out, or an hour. You could have spent that 30 minutes researching all the things, another 30 minutes designing 5 designs, and then an hour listing all of your stuff correctly. Now, I mentioned this process also applies to digital products, and it does. You still need to do research to figure out if someone even wants that product. You still need to design the digital product. You still need to have mock-ups of what the digital product looks like. If it's a workbook or a work guide, you need a mock-up of a laptop or an iPad with the digital guide on it so that people knows what it looks like. And then obviously the last step is to upload and list it. You're just cutting out the middle step of having to use a print provider because it's a digital file. Now, if you're struggling with designs, I would love for you to give Kittl a try if you haven't already. We really made Kittl for you, for the people that are trying to succeed in print on demand, for the people that are trying to design better and get better at design, ultimately make you more money. Kittl works right in your browser. You don't have to have any pre-knowledge of any design tools or advanced design tools or anything like that. All the fonts, illustrations, we have Kittl AI. Everything you need is in one place. And I have literally hundreds of videos here on the channel for you to look up so that you can figure out how to make a design that you want. Everything from shirts to books to journal covers to stickers to hats, whatever it is, we've got videos for how to make it. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to the Kittl channel. You never know what's going to come out next and what we're going to post next, and it might be the thing that you're trying to figure out how to do. So subscribe so you don't miss anything. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video.